How are we doing? We okay?
Yeah.
It's great to be in London. It's like Leeds, but with windows. It's wonderful. I think that this must be the northern slot I think they're giving us, Jeff, haven't they? Bring the northern guys up before we go to sleep. But really, I'm here to help you guys. And I've had a few moments in my speaking career. I've been speaking for about 20 years and about 4 years professionally. And I've had quite a few kind of ding moments. I love my ding moments. In fact, Ed even wrote a book called Ding, I think. The ding moments are when you suddenly go, ah, right. I've had a few of those. My first one was when I realised I could be myself on the platform. And for some of us, that's probably been a journey that we've been on. I realised, because when I thought I'd be a professional speaker, I started Googling it, worst thing ever. Because what you do is you get lots of very shiny people to go. And I realised that I was a northern bloke, and I realised I could be myself. So that was my first ding moment. My second ding moment. It's a long way to go. My second ding moment was when I realised the power of story. I was in a school assembly with some very grumpy 15-year-olds many, many years ago, and I suddenly went off script and started telling a story about me and my wife. And I saw every eye in the room, 300 eyes, lift up and suddenly start listening to me. The power of story. But my third one, and the one I want to talk to you about today, my third ding moment is the big one. I rang this earlier, and Billy came out fighting, do you know what I mean? Moment was slides, because I did a presentation and one of my clients came up to me afterwards and said, Lee, I really loved your slides. And I was like, surely you meant my content and you know how nice I was and my professionalism. No, I really like your slides and your visuals and the way you use video and stuff. And it was a big moment for me. So I'm going to talk to you about that today. It's one of my little side hobbies, if you like. Side hobbies, is that a word? I don't know, I've just invented it. Well, first of all, there's a little plea. There's a lot of speakers out there who blame their software for their poor slides. This is on behalf of Apple Keynote, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Prezi, or any other presentation software they use. It's not their fault. You are the designer. So if your slides don't look great, don't blame the software. And when I've worked out with speakers, there's three sorts of speakers when it comes to slides, okay? Three sorts of speakers. Oh, that's good. I can hear myself now. Three sorts of speakers. The first speaker is this person. Those that just love slides. They embrace them, they love them, they just talk into them, the big visuals, they totally get that. And after that, if you just turn up the music, that'd be great. It really helps to turn up a laptop a little bit. They just love those slides, okay? The second is this speaker. It's a speaker that doesn't use slides. I never use slides, I never will do. I tell stories, I stand up, and hello? And that's the other sort of speaker, and that's fine as well. I understand that. If you don't want to use slides, that's fine. But there's a third sort of speaker as well. And the third sort of speaker is those who say they don't use slides, but really they do. Because their slides are an afterthought. Their slides are something that they just cobbled together the night before. Or my client wants some slides, I'll just send them those, they'll be fine. And what happens is we end up having all sorts of bizarre kind of slides going on with pretty dull. So I'm going to give you three reasons, whichever style of speaker you are, I'm going to give you 3 reasons to use great slides. I don't say normal slides, I say 3 reasons to use great slides. There's a difference. Reason number 1 is we're now communicating with a visual generation. I've been working with young people most of my life. 70% of my work is still in education. But these young people that I worked with 10, 15 years ago are now in the workplace. They're the people that you're speaking to. And they're a visual generation. This is me and my wife who went to Coldplay gig in December. That is what it looked like. They gave us flashing wristbands as we came in. And the wristbands flashed to the beat of the music throughout the concert. It wasn't just a gig, the whole stage was lit up like a guitar. It's a visual generation, and therefore we need to be thinking about that, how we're going to communicate with this visual generation. When I wrote my book, I've even written a book with some pictures in it, because I think that's helpful, and it helps me to concentrate. And the other thing is that visual stages are becoming the norm. I mean, just look at this platform here. And look at this massive, the massive big screen behind us. It's a shame to waste it. The one that's on the screen there, the big education conference that was at in January, the stage was 30 metres wide, 3 massive screens, and what do? They put the speaker, a little lectern, on the left-hand side. We've got masses of screen real estate. We might as well use it. At least put a picture or something that's big and visual out there. Otherwise, we just end up having templates and stuff like that out there. And 3 is that your slides make your content stickier. Let me give you some evidence. This research, you might have heard it on the little CD that we get with the Speaker magazine. It was actually on there, made famous by the guy who did Brain Rules. Basically, if you're speaking to someone, after about 72 hours, you'll get about 10% recall. Alright? So people remember about 10% of what you say, roughly that. If you add, and you can check this, I haven't just made this up, this is genuine research. If you add a relevant image, it can go up to 65% recall. So do you want your message to be 55% stickier than it is now? Then maybe great visual slides are one of the things that you can look at, and I can give you some details of that research afterwards. So here's great slides in a nutshell. Think Billboard, not document. This is the key moment. When you open your PowerPoint or something, or your keynote, or whatever, we start to write a document. And it's not a document, it's a billboard. Your slides are for the audience, not for you. You have your own notes if you need them, however you want to do that. So you can add them to slides, you can do all sorts of creative things. You can have them on the screen here, whatever you need to do. But remember, they're a billboard. So it's big, it's bold, it's to people out there. It's going to emphasize your message. Design your slides for the person on the back row. If they don't know after 3 seconds what your slide says or is about, then it's too complicated. 3-second rule. It should be, look at it, right, the guy at the back, I see now, okay, brilliant, boom. That's what we need to be looking at. And you've got to be tough with yourself. When you design stuff like that, or you get someone else to do it, you've got to be tough with yourself and look at your slides afresh and go, did I get that? Did I get that? Eliminate the clutter. This is probably the main culprit of death by PowerPoint. This is where people say, I hate PowerPoint, I hate slides. It's because we clutter things up. What happens is, we forget that space is our friend. Well, designers use space as well as stuff. You'll see that, and Apple, of course, is the king of that. Okay? Space is our friend. What happens is we get a slide, and it says, well, obviously the name of the conference, and the event title, and copyright, in case someone steals my slide, and then my website address, and then today's date, and then my email address if anyone wants to contact me, then my logo, but then I repeat my website address at the bottom in case no one saw it at the top. Now you might laugh, but I was at a big event with quite a big speaker, and he had his website address twice on the same slide. And what happens is, we only end up having this little bit of information here. Don't use templates. If your client gives you a template, if you can get out of it, get out of it. Don't use templates because it limits what you can actually do with a slide. Bullets kill people, but they also kill presentations. Ban the bullet point. The only bullet point slide I ever use is for a quiz that I do when I'm doing an education presentation, and it just has 5 facts about me. That's the only bullet points I'll use in that whole pack of slides, okay? So, but sometimes it's so easy, I want to make that point, this point, this point, and that point. But they do kill presentations. Nobody is interested in what your computer can do while you're speaking. I found a brilliant animation. It zooms in, it zooms out, it spins around, it comes out. But it takes 5 seconds between slides to do it, and you're waiting there. You lose the flow of what you're doing. So don't. I use one transition in 45 slides in my main keynote. One transition. That's it, just to make a point. I just don't use them because if I need to skip through something, especially on a Mac, you can't actually skip through. Once the animation has started, you can't get past it. And we've discovered that, Richard, haven't we, with the Macs? You can't quite get past that thing. Okay? So don't use transition.